Rustom, what do you see is changing the future of diagnostics powered by voice? Because this is undertapped, and like Amit rightly put it, this COVID was a small window where research turned into action. And so over to you, Rustom, in terms of what do you see as the future?
Yeah, so I just want to really talk about this new and exciting field of voice artificial intelligence, and firstly, really want to thank CII for having me on this panel, and want to really take you through four use cases of voice artificial intelligence. I think the first one is pretty well known, at least in the diagnostic industry, which is the whole clinical documentation space, right? But what we're finding is actually there are many touch points across the whole care continuum, where this can be used, and really used as a tool to drive efficiency. And I think, how what Dr. Sunita had mentioned as well, that reporting, and getting it right and accurate and fast is important in this whole process. Um, so really, across this whole care continuum, you can look at areas like, OPD, the whole getting your discharge summaries moving, your IPD, and of course the whole diagnostic side of it. And it's really becoming extremely essential today when you're trying to drive things like EMR adoption today, right? Like, how do you actually get the data that you need? Right? So you have to be able to have tools, efficiency tools that can actually drive this and really provide the accuracy. So, um, a lot of, medical transcribers who may be sitting there may not know a lot of very, very complex terminology, right? And that is a potential for having medical error. So, again, using some of these sophisticated technologies can really drive better outcomes in that way. Um, I think, when we look a bit futuristic, then, this whole area of conversational AI, right? Vijay, you spoke about, like an Alexa type of experience. So I think, that what we call ambient technology is starting to actually come to life, in a clinical perspective as well. And that really opens up a lot of possibilities, right? Because you can imagine that you have a device that's listening into a doctor patient conversation, and can pick out, all the important sort of information or meaningful information from that conversation, and update a system directly, right? And that sort of leads me on to what we call sort of voice RPA, which really is the ability to drive EMR. Like, can you use this technology to drive other people's systems, right? So a lot of the older systems are built on, the graphical user interface, and we keep talking about the voice user interface, which really opens up a lot of possibilities. Um, you know, uh, you generally for doctors would have an environment, where they're having to type in, they're having to click a lot of buttons. We've seen some systems where you have to, a doctor for one incident has to sort of click 100 buttons, right? Now things like voice really do change the game here, right? And it's that speed and ability to sort of meet more patients using this technology, which is very, very exciting. And then I think, if we sort of start looking futuristic, and I don't think it's actually that futuristic. There's actually a lot of programs going on globally. Is this whole area of voice biomarkers, right? Um, so a voice biomarker, very simply, if I give you a little story, if say, for example, you're at, you've gone on a work trip and late at night you call your mother, your mother within a second will be able to tell you, hey, you're sounding tired or you're sounding stressed, right? Now, your mother's been hearing you and knows that tone of your voice, the speed of your voice, these type of things. And, very instinctively would be able to tell that, something's wrong. Now, using the deep learning systems, this has become very, very good, and there are multiple areas, which are very exciting, from pulmonology, today, there's a lot of research going on in places like Carnegie Mellon University and Cambridge University as well, to develop algorithms that can detect COVID just from the sound of the voice, right? In fact, there's a company in Israel called Vocalis Health, that's actually launched this, and they're apparently saying they're getting 85% accuracy just from this. But there are a lot of other areas, from the neurology side, detecting Alzheimer's early, and of course, areas like mental health, right? You can imagine that the tone and voice of someone who's depressed or schizophrenic could be different, right? And there are a lot of these biomarkers that exist, and it's a very, very interesting area. And I think it actually solves a lot of these issues to some degree, right? Access. Think about it. Imagine if you had something available on an app, that could be used, even if in the beginning it was just a triaging technology, right? It could help, right? Clearly it's affordable. Being on an app, you can scale it up to 1 billion people, potentially. So I think a very, very interesting area. And I think it's the way to really look at this is as our country is going through this type of transformation, and it's very clear with the crisis that we really need to invest in these type of automation technologies right up front, right? I know that today the cost of manpower is still relatively less than say the West, but that is going to change over a period of time. And I think how do you actually put these things into your workflows right up front, and get things like electronic medical records actually really, really powerful, and right from the beginning, with the correct sort of technologies. So at Ognito, we're very excited with the opportunity. I think it's a very clear market penetration that started. And I always like to say that voice is the most natural way for humans to communicate. So why shouldn't we be doing it effectively with computers? And I think the accuracy has become so good that it's going to drive very, very good outcomes in healthcare. So just very excited to be in the space. Thank you very much.